Welcome back, everybody. This is our Week 2 preview. I know, we're on Week 2 already. And we didn't do a Week 1 preview last week and picks, and that's because I did the schedule and record predictions for each team. So that, to me, kind of filled that in. And you kind of knew how I felt about teams about that point. Anyway, but now we're going to go on to Week 2, and we're going to start with Baltimore-Cincinnati. It's going to be Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals this Thursday night. Both teams played well. The Baltimore Ravens played the Buffalo Bills, beat them 47-3. Bengals beat the Colts 34-23. And I'm going to tell you where I'm picking. I'm going to tell you where I pick first, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm picking the Bengals to win this game. And here's why. They're at home. It's a Thursday night. Now, they don't play well in prime time, but they're an underdog here against the Ravens. And the reason why I'm picking them to win is because overall, they both don't have their star defensive players. Jimmy Smith's not there, so who's covering A.J. Green? Vontaze Burfict's not there, so the middle of the field's going to be iffy. We'll see what happens with injuries. The Ravens are missing 4 key players to injuries. Kenneth Dixon's going to be out. Maurice Kennedy is out. A few other guys are out. Bengals, I think, at this point are only missing Cody Core, who's a backup receiver. So the Bengals are going to be healthier going into the season. Now, the Bengals' offensive line only let up 2 sacks last week. They're going to be playing a better defensive front with Terrell Suggs, but Cordy Glenn will be blocking that front. And the right side of the offensive line for the Bengals is a problem, but offensively they're better. Joe Mixon's going to light it up, and that when they last showed up, Joe Mixon had a game. He balled. Andy Dalton played well. Tyler Boyd had a slow week 2. He's going to be better tomorrow. Wow. AJ Green and John Ross and Tyler Eifert all there. This team's going to be better. I'm picking the Bengals to beat the Ravens. Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to pick the Falcons to win this game despite everything I said about their red zone issues. Panthers will not have Darrell Williams on the right side of the line, and they won't have Matt Khalil on the other side of the line. That's a problem. Also, Greg Olson's out for a few weeks. That's another issue. Cam Newton's going to have to hold the ball a lot more. And at that point in time, I'm picking the Falcons to win this game offensively. Defensively, they showed that they're going to have some holes later, but they're going to be shut down. But that was against a Cowboys offense who had no urge to play. I'm picking the Falcons to beat the Carolina Panthers. Week 2, this one's easy. Los Angeles Chargers, or next game, Los Angeles Chargers versus the Buffalo Bills. I'm picking the Los Angeles Chargers. What part of, and that's easy, I'm not going to go into this, but why should I pick the Bills? The Bills are going to be starting Josh Allen. We'll see what happens. But why am I picking the Bills? And I'm not going to say anything about the Chargers. They're going to win. This game's tricky. Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Now, they're talking about whether or not they want to risk Aaron Rodgers to play this game. They don't want to risk him for injury, all that stuff against the Vikings, who are a way better defensive front than the Bears. Defensively, they're a lot better team. They're in Green Bay. I understand. This game was a toss-up for me. If Aaron Rodgers plays, I'm picking the Packers. If he doesn't play, I'm picking the Vikings. It really just depends on Aaron Rodgers being there. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings to win this game. I just think they're going to be better against that defense. They're going to be playing great. Kirk Cousins played well week 1, and I think deserves to get the nod there. Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. Both quarterbacks I destroyed in a couple segments ago. To me, it's in Tennessee. Houston's a dome team. That's going to be an interesting setup for them. But here's the problem I have. If Mariota can play, now they won't have Delaney Walker. So I'm going to go with the Houston Texans because I think the Houston Texans will manhandle the offensive line of the Titans. And defensively, I think I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to pick the Houston Texans. The Cleveland Browns versus the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are winning this game. They got humiliated at home by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to find a way to win this game here, and they're not facing New England like last year. They're facing Cleveland. They're going to win this game. And Cleveland, they might show that they're good, but I don't think they beat the Saints. The Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. I'm going with the New York Jets here because I know A Florida team or a hot weather team does not go north and play well. And the Dolphins, yeah, they played well at home against the Titans. I don't think they do the same against the Jets. I think the Jets' defense is stout. I think they're a very good secondary with a good pass rush. And I don't have faith in the Dolphins' offensive line. But this will be a defensive matchup, I believe, and I think Sam Darnold will be having a good game. Minka Fitzpatrick is the player to watch for the Dolphins. That's where I'm going to go with that one. The New York Jets. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. After what I saw from against the Los Angeles Chargers, I'm sorry I'm forgetting it, but the Pittsburgh Steelers showed nothing week 1 against the Browns. They looked abysmal. They did not look good. And the Chiefs, I think, are going to run all over them. And I think the one thing that people are not paying attention to, now they're saying that Pittsburgh owns Kansas City. It's going to be an easy game for them to win. The reason Pittsburgh owned Kansas City was because of one player, James Harrison. Is James Harrison on the Steelers roster? No. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game in a blowout. And the Steelers are going to be in the hole with a 2-0 AFC North team above them. Excuse me. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Buccaneers. Buccaneers had a strong week 1 against the New Orleans Saints. But the New Orleans Saints don't have the pass rush the Eagles have. And I think the Eagles win this game soundly. They go down south to beat the Buccaneers, and I think the Buccaneers will put up a fight. But the Eagles are going to be the team to beat this year. I have the Eagles winning this game. Indianapolis Colts versus the Washington Redskins. Andrew Luck showed me a lot, but so did the Washington Redskins. I'm picking the Redskins to win this game, and the reason for it is I think Alex Smith and that pass rush for the Washington Redskins will get to Andrew Luck. I think Alex Smith will throw all over the Colts defense, and I think Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson will combine for 200 yards total in the game, passing and rushing. That's my bold prediction. Chris Thompson and Adrian Peterson will combine for 200 yards of offense. Arizona Cardinals versus Los Angeles Rams. This one's easy. It's going to be the Rams. The Cardinals showed me nothing week 1. I don't have any faith in them moving forward. The Rams, however, looked sluggish against the Raiders, but they will show up at home against a supremely inferior team, which I don't think makes any sense, but I'm going to say it anyway. The Rams will win this game soundly and will head to a 2-0 record. The Detroit Lions versus the San Francisco 49ers. I think the San Francisco Niners and Jimmy Garoppolo will bounce back after losing narrowly to the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are a good team. That's why I did not have the Niners in my negative takeaways, because they were facing a far better team. That being said, they're playing the Detroit Lions. If the Niners lose to the Detroit Lions this week, there is no excuse for that loss. Based on what we saw from Detroit, I'm picking the Niners to win this game. Oakland Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. Based off what I saw from the Denver pass rush, the offensive line for the Raiders looks good. I don't really if Case Keenum keeps turning the ball over, I will pick the Raiders. But I think the Denver Broncos pass rush in Denver is better than the Raiders, and the Raiders defense is troublesome right now. I'm picking the Denver Broncos to win this game, and if the Raiders offense could get on to a good step, the Raiders really last week did not give me a reason to pick them against the Denver Broncos. The New England Patriots versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Patriots do not have Julian Edelman. They put on a show against the Houston Texans, and that's because Deshaun Watson did not play well. If the Jaguars don't have Fournette, the Patriots win this game soundly. I think, I'm going to go out on a wire. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will win this game defensively. They will own the Patriots on the field. They will block every receiver. Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boye will block every receiver they possibly can. There is no reason to think the Jaguars can't win this game, and it is down south in Jacksonville. I think they win this game, and it's going to be very hot down there as well. The night game, New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. I'm picking the New York Giants to win this game. Why? Because all of the reasons I talked about Dak Prescott, the same reasons I talked about the Dallas Cowboy defense, and the offensive line for the Cowboys looked horrendous. On the other side, the Giants' running game looked okay, but Saquon Barkley's not selling it for me. Eli Manning needs to play better, and Odell Beckham Jr. needs to show out against a mediocre Cowboys secondary. If they can do that, the Giants will go to 1-1 and send the Cowboys down to an early hole. Monday night game, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Chicago Bears. In my opinion, this is the game of the week. And here's why. I can't pick it because I don't know who's going to win it. The Seahawks right now offensively, they need to rebound after last week. They had a good game. The Bears with Khalil Mack, if Khalil Mack can be the same game breaker against the Green Bay Packers, he's facing a far inferior offensive line. The Khalil Mack will dominate this game, but the elusivity of Russell Wilson will determine who wins this game. I'm picking the Chicago Bears because I think Khalil Mack will have 6 sacks in this game and will dominate Jermaine Ifedi on the right side of that offensive line, and the Seahawks will get dominated in Chicago by a Bears team who is up and coming. Those are it. Those are the picks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of NFL Breakdown. Again, this is a weekly show where we recap the week and we preview the upcoming week. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope everyone has a good time this weekend watching football. This is going to be a great weekend of football. We have 16 weeks remaining until the playoffs, and this show will continue throughout the playoffs. I'm hoping to go through until the free agency mainly, and I'm hoping to go through the draft. But until then, I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope to see you all next Wednesday on NFL Breakdown. Have a good day.